Look, it's a flood.
It's a flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Look at this bottle, dog. Look at this. Who would you say this bottle is marketed
Sours.
to? It does say berry lemon. What the fuck is a berry
Well,
lemon?
you see the bottle here is like shiny, and the light and stuff is like glitter. And...
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's got glitter on it, right? So it's for the gays, right? No, it's clearly for chicks, right? It's like for 16-year-olds.
This does say underage and.
Playing, hey mister, hey mister, can you get us a bottle of Smirnoff sour? I got $20.
It's pretty good. The sours are pretty good as far as like beers and stuff. It's gonna be.
Alright,
not
do you
bad.
bitches want to take the shots of the fucking sour berry?
That's what it's for. Is the shots, right? Nice and easy.
Yeah.
We're drinking sour berry lemonade and chasing it with Truly.
Oh yeah.
This is a very white girl summer.
Flavor blast. It's like Gushers.
I know this nigga didn't say it's like Gushers. Oh shit. So, as a bartender, what is your opinion on tasty liquor? Right?
Tastes like so. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. There's again this stigma like girly drinks or whatever. I feel like a lot of it's just because you get colors with your juices.
Yeah.
And you know dudes are.
Hey fellas, is it gay to like colors?
Yeah. Absolutely. Purple.
So,
Hey, you relax.
Someone feel personally attacked? Hey yo, okay, so as a bartender, what is a drink that would make you look at a dude and be like, hey yo?
Oh, so it's actually I feel like that happens fairly often. They always come in like the bigger like energy they go off, the girlier drink they'll get. It's so damn funny. It's so
But
damn
do
funny.
they all order it like real hush hush?
Oh no! Everyone wants their fucking whiskey sours, sour mix. I don't know. It's such bitch. They'll like order like pina coladas and stuff too, all the damn time. Like as soon as you see if it's available to them and they can like read it, like oh yeah, let me get the pina colada. Like, nah.
And you're like, now I gotta blend some shit.
No, to be honest, half the time our blender doesn't work. You know, so.
On some McDonald's shit. Oh, I'm sorry. The blender's broken.
That's tough, but I'm not making no
You
damn.
see how busy it is?
Single ass frozen drink. You want me to be like, nah, sorry. You better order a real damn drink.
Do you see how busy it is?
Ain't got time for that. If it's like a table and they're like, ordering like 4 pina coladas, like I'll fire out the blender and stuff.
Right.
But I'm not making like
one pina colada.
No, get your shit together.
Absolutely not. You inconvenient hussy.
Hell yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You better order
They
some
come
gin
out-
and tonic and chill out.
Right. Yeah, that's always the big guys ordering that shit.
Gin and tonic or
With pina colada and whiskey sour. Yeah, it's always.
I need you to mix up like 8 things for me. Here's what I want.
All right, so here's the opposite one. What drink, when somebody orders it, are you like, all right, cool?
That's hard. I want to say old fashioned, maybe. There's a few of them. The Manhattan, I feel like, is a standard one people would expect. Like, I don't personally feel that way, and it's not also one that's ordered very often. So I try to avoid that. Martini, that is also one that I feel like is a stigma because everyone has their own taste of martini. Like like I like mine like fucking olive juice. Bartenders will make their martinis very different, and a lot of times I go out and get martinis and I just get like very vermouthy drinks, and it like ruins it. People do sweet, people do dry vermouths. So it's, I don't know, the martini's probably the biggest stigma drink there is to make and order. It's also originally supposed to be gin, and almost everyone makes it with vodka.
Right, because vodka's the girl around town now, right?
Yeah. Well, so gin is vodka. It's just mixed with elderberries, but it just has the extra dry taste.
Yeah.
Elderberries. That's always such a funny, like, the certain berries that exist.
The elderberries wine. I meant juniper berry. Please. Yeah, juniper berries. Indigenous to England.
These schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
I listened to this dollop they did about how gin hit England like crack hit Compton. and, yo, it is the wildest shit ever. It's got me looking at gin in a completely different light. Like when I tell you they was drinking this shit out of boots, I literally mean people was filling like boots up with gin, yo, and drinking.
Have you ever had to drink beer out of the glass Das Boot?
Oh yeah, no.
The German boot.
Yeah,
you gotta know when to twist it so you don't get hit with the air bubble.
I've partied with white people long enough to have to
show you this picture of the UK.
That's a certain kind of white people.
Pubs in the UK, it's absolutely just fucking littered with red arrows.
Absolutely, son. I've been drinking with like actual Brits. I don't know if you've had the pleasure of drinking with actual Brits, but somebody with Irish in his blood, it'd be hard to keep up, son. I found myself slurring my speech and stuff, and they was looking at me.
I don't know how many
right,
Boddingtons I can take down. I'm not gonna lie there. But I gotta say that the levels of preamble here are rising up and crashing through. This is,
for the 18th time, this is Doc.
Third time, Zach.
And Ziggy.
And you already know what it is. This is the show that takes the news happening around you and talks about how it shapes the culture that defines you with our pop perspective.
Putting culture in context.
And making the mainstream make sense.
Because if we do not make sense, we do not make dollars.
Dollars. And as much as this is a hobby, I'd love to get paid.
Logic is money, is what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
We have our third time returning guest.
Friend of the pod.
Cool
Zack. What's happening, Cool Zack?
Here chilling. I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me back.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we love to have you back, man. And we love having you guys back. Thank you for tuning in with us for another weekly roundup. Cool Zack, have you brought an island with you this week, or is there something you have been diving into you would like to share with the folks?
I've been feeling all types of ways.
We were talking all the way over here.
You've been in it, my man.
We were talking all the way over here.
To be fair,
America.
I'm never out of it, and it only gets deeper and
say
deeper.
That again for the people.
Right, never out of it.
Yeah, that's the truth,
so
ain't it?
We just see things escalating all the time.
Do you really feel like things are escalating though? Or
absolutely, nonstop. Absolutely. So, I mean, it's never been non-escalating. For the last almost 10 years, I feel like America itself has been heading into a direction of it's nonstop. Like we're declining and reverting back literally like a century. We're time lapsing ourselves, and it's just going. It's going in a direction where it's not stopping until we reach a civil war.
Ooh, talk that shit.
The only thing I feel like now that's stopping it is our actively ongoing World War III. If Putin was not doing what he's doing right now in Ukraine and continuing to threaten the rest of the Eastern world, America would be like on the verge of Civil War II.
I absolutely agree with you 98.2%.
That's very specific.
Right?
I can get another 0.5%.
Because I think the only thing that's really stopping us from being at a civil war right now, complacency. America, as much as we like to complain about what America should be, we are absolutely complacent with what America is.
But they're still actively taking away rights. And it's not stopping.
That is true, but
and
the same way Antifa, there's lots of resistance movements that are active too, right?
Active for how long? as opposed to how long that our Congress has been going on with actively making.
No,
these
I mean
rules.
we're talking about old money versus new money, right? So to be fair,
Congress is both.
Yeah. That's why I like you. But I think most Americans, right, are too lazy. Now,
absolutely.
I think what January 6th proves is that you can mobilize a large majority of people, but we also saw that when Trump won his presidency, remember the Women's March after Trump won his presidency?
Oh, right, the pussy hats.
That is the largest protest this nation has ever seen. Right? Like, they were shutting down bus stations, airports, everything. Like, they were packed. Women were packed in these streets in a way that I truly was expecting after Roe v. Wade, right? And to a degree, they were. Right? I feel like the reason why, like, we all complain about Walmart and Amazon and say that small businesses and mom and pop shops are fading out of existence, right? We all complain about that. Except for everybody that complains about that still orders shit from Amazon, right? Like, we still roll into Walmart.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I looked at, like, TCG Player, and I looked at my
Amazon,
local shop,
and
I'm like, do you have the super nimble mega hamster?
When was the last time you went to a local restaurant?
Actually, just recently, I was in DC for the weekend. And yeah, fucking, any convention center, you're always gonna have lines, but like, the Starbucks, line was outside, and they had like literally a local coffee shop right there around the place, fucking empty, absolutely fucking empty. I went in there right away.
Local business before I got here,
absolutely.
though.
So while we go back a bit though, like the only thing I can say, and this is a big point, is funny how all these major movements, they find a way, time, and place around the working class.
Yeah. No.
So all these big rallies and stuff, these truck drivers, they're driving across the fuck anyway. They work around their own schedule. They don't have time. The working class, we're in shutdown for years. We see when we're in shutdown, you see what cops commit these daily actions that they commit. We see the reaction from the people when they're stuck inside. But once they start working again, they're able to get away with this, and the working class isn't able to go out and vote, able to go out and protest, able to go out and do anything.
That's the real civil war that's happening right now.
Hey,
Let's talk about that.
Doc.
No, I know.
Hold on, Doc. I think we had somebody crash land on our island.
What's that island?
Storm the Bastille. Hi, Ted.
Storms the Bastille.
No, but that's the real civil war.
We're running out of fuel, and we're definitely crashing.
That's the real civil war that's happening right now. It is the working class versus the donor class, right? That's it. That's ultimately it. And they've pitted, once again, the working class against each other so we cannot mobilize, right? Because they know what happened the last time we did that shit, right? And
when last time we did that shit, things actually changed and we made some progression in the country. So
I just want to say before we get to
a guess.
This is a hole that's never going to end.
So like, everybody is like, where's the police reform and everything? Well, after George Floyd, like we did say, Maryland has actually done some of the largest amount of police reform, including repealing the Police Bill of Rights.
Yeah, but the Maryland GOP also just elected a trumpet as their primary runner.
And it's expected to get completely blown out.
So was Trump.
Yeah, absolutely. The police are suffering through the same thing that the military is, where it's not from lack of budgeting, it's from lack of care of the individuals.
Also lack of need.
And branding.
Like,
it's bad branding, dog. They chose.
Well, especially for police. Well, so like they have so much fucking money being funded into them. Like look into. It's not even a state. It's a county, individual, because police have their own individual. Look into where your county's taxes are going to. Like, the police get a large amount of that, but it's not the individuals working there.
No,
it's the equipment they get, the cars they get, but they don't even know what the fuck they're working for. These police officers go straight in. They get pepper sprayed once and go through like 2 weeks of like make sure you like don't crumple down if someone like looks at you, and like you don't know the laws that you're defending and protecting. No. You don't go in like no one like
they're not required to have more than they're not required
security
to have more
officers
service and learning hours, right? Teachers.
No more liberties in the store than police officers do in the streets for public affairs, for public citizens that pay to live in the area that they're in.
Thank you. I'm serious, dog. It is like a Walmart worker is almost required to go through more training
Hell yes.
than certain and I say this having friends who are cops.
It's a job like oh you should have to go through they should be compensated fairly and through this training they need to be compensated more monetarily, but like this isn't a job you fucking stumble upon. No one's like, oh well, do I become a police officer or exactly this is so you had to actively choose. It's not like, oh, I can be a police officer at this department like no, this is fucking it. So like you take lessons. It's the same thing as being like a fucking doctor. Like you need to know what the fuck you're doing to do it.
Exactly, and it's insane to me that police officers get away with not knowing the law or skirting protocol. Right.
This is exactly what I want to say. Why does it take less than a year to become a cop, but 11 years to become a lawyer? Less than a year to enforce the law, but 11 years to practice it.
Could you imagine the drastic change that would be made if they made every cop ride around with a lawyer?
Yo,
or not even just like a lawyer, right? Like a practical. Okay, so when they were talking about police reform, right? I got to thinking about ways that you could potentially improve police public relations, right? And what difference do you think it would make if they made every police officer ride around with a social worker?
Yeah, anybody. I mean, even the body cameras. Like the body cameras are like barely enough.
Right.
We've literally heard active officers say like, oh, like this wouldn't happen like 30 years ago. Like this camera, like they threaten things on camera. Things they do on things they do on camera is baffling. Is absolutely baffling. And you think about like what has happened in the past, and it made me see like small fires, but small fires all throughout the country, throughout county, county. Why is this hard? Every county and every state. All over America, those fires add up into something that's unextinguishable.
Speaking of small fires that happened in the past, usually when we don't have such an active guest on the show, we like to start off with a little peek back into history.
With things that have happened this day in history, 1 week from today.
Next Saturday night, we're sending you back to the future!
That is the day this episode drops, the day we're recording it.
Because we don't want to confuse you by giving you things that are like a week
live
behind,
action.
And then they're like, what the hell are you doing?
Even though this gag has gotten to be that we confuse you with the gag, which is the description of the bit.
But remember, all of the things we're talking about came out the day that you hopefully heard this when it drops.
Which is hopefully on a Saturday, every Saturday, wherever you find podcasts.
When I'm not under a crippling amount of stress to pay bills, but this time we're talking about August 6th.
It might sound perfect, but it still takes editing.
On this day in history, August 6th.
I'm actually glad that we have a documentary junkie here today, because the first event in 30 BC...
30? Oh, you dug way back in the time crates for this one.
In 30 BC was the Battle of Alexandria. Mark Antony achieves minor victory over Octavian, but most of his army subsequently deserts and leading to Octavian's invasion of Egypt.
That's
So-
them moving east, correct?
So this is not.
Into
Yes.
Egypt. They were west into the west
So
of Siberia. or
so
whatever.
so this is not Mark Anthony
Obesia.
battling Ben Affleck for the heart of J.
No. And you're... No.
Also,
No. This is Mark Antony.
congratulations,
Of
Ben Affleck.
For
your-
securing
on
the
your-
bag.
on your re-engagement.
No, they're married now. They did a Vegas wedding.
Yeah.
That's still a re-engagement. On your re-engagement,
Hey yo, she left A-Rod and went right back to Benny Affleck.
At least A-Rod has
It's
one
a-
ring.
I didn't know he was Batman.
Right. She said, hey yo, listen, you might have the Batman, but Ben Affleck is Batman.
Deep.
And,
So-
no, apparently.
Commas make a difference. But anyway, yes,
That's
Mark
that's-
Antony, and that is of Cleopatra and Mark Antony fame.
Okay.
One of the longest romances in human history.
One that officially ended the Egyptian dynasty, right?
That lasted
Or
for
Egyptian
thousands of years for all of
supremacy.
these people who think that America is the longest lasting thing. No, Egypt lasted for like 2,000 years.
The only thing younger than America is like Germany, right? Like,
Yeah, America is fucking ultra
and
baby.
also like all of Eastern Europe. But
Yeah.
that's beside the point.
They're rather fluid.
Like water.
Be like water. Bruce Lee. Anyway, in 1777, Marquis de Lafayette.
That's
at
right after the
19
Vietnam War.
Yo, how the fuck you go from 300 BC to 1777?
Apparently, August 6th was a rather boring day.
Okay, so what happened?
In 1777, Marquis de Lafayette, at 19 years old,
Sounds French.
made Major General of the Continental Army.
The Continental U.S. Army?
Yep, during the Revolutionary War.
Oh, okay.
He was
So
one
he
of George
was-
Washington's most trusted generals throughout the war.
Was
and
French, and the French also helped grant us our liberty
Uh-huh.
through their king, which in irony afterwards were
They overthrew because they were asking America to pay back our debts, and in a very American fashion, we were like, "What you
No.
talking about?"
Listen. I would say that America definitely made the play there. They definitely pitted the rivalry between France and Britain.
Oh yeah,
to
they
the
ate that shit up.
highest
Oh, like,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
How would you like to go?
Would
like,
you not?
The war?
No, if I was in America's position,
The-
absolutely.
the
I'm like, if they're dumb
war-mongering
enough to fall
French-
for it,
to go to war with their oldest allies, like
Yep.
oh yeah, like sign me the fuck up. Yeah, the French, yeah, they were all about
and
it.
then
all
because
about
we
it.
then because we milked the
But then-
French for all their animosity towards the British.
we
right?
milked them again
Actually,
with the
so
Louisiana
there's-
Purchase.
There's your connection from BC to 1977 because the French are also the ones that lured us into the position we were in Vietnam. So
Hey,
This is culture and context, people.
everybody, that's what you come here for.
We just
remember?
tied
The
something
good
from
bet.
1777 to modern day.
yeah, it shows you the French were shitty for all 3,000 years.
Well, in 1960,
Brush over that one.
well, in 1960,
Just let
Elijah
that settle.
Muhammad, leader of the Nation of Islam, calls for a black state.
Listen,
Amen, brother. That's all I say. Is America's yours. That's all, you know, like you did it. That's
listen.
if America doesn't belong to
Just like
Cool, you
and-
heard it from the mouth of Cool Zack.
Yeah,
I
that's-
didn't
that's
even
what I
have
put.
to say it this time. It's a
Jon
and-
Stewart, once again, somebody asked about reparations. I think it might have been Charlemagne. And the first words out of his mouth were, look, where do we sign the check?
Yeah, in chronological order, you know, like America, United States belongs to natives, then blacks, and then after that maybe Chinese. But like
And
we
there's an
already
argument-
extinguished all the natives,
Listen,
so
listen,
like
as-
it's the blacks at
As
that
the
point.
resident,
you know?
as the resident dabbler in hotepery here, I have to argue that natives and blacks might be the same thing, right? So
Pathetic.
While you were watching Sailor Moon, you forgot how many moons ago they were sailing away with our bodies. Wake up, Kang. Stop eating corn.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the United States was, we were still doing shit going on for at least 100 years. The English were moving shit. Let's see.
So where was Elijah Muhammad proposing the black state be?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I can tell you,
Louisiana.
that funny you say that. I did just recently learn, and I don't know. Okay, so this might be like 80% true.
Speaking of the
Mississippi has the highest black population per capita in the entire United States. So there are more black people than white people or like any other race in Mississippi. Which, I don't know about
never
you,
have guessed that.
feels drastically ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering I'm gonna guess
that's
their governor
why
and
I
both
was-
of their senators are probably white people, right?
Exactly.
Republicans.
What a twist!
Yep,
Yeah.
on top of it.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, listen,
freedom denying.
listen,
Republicans.
They tried to ride for freedom.
I don't know if you watched any of Lovecraft Country, Zach, but
No, we were talking about the last time, and I still have that on my list, and I have so many things on my list. I'm so shitty. I apologize.
so
I have,
Misha Green released when they canceled the series. Misha Green, the director and the writer of the series, or one of the head writers of the series, released the show Bible for season 2, which was Lovecraft Country's Supremacy. It featured this map.
It basically broke the United States into like subsections based off of like cultural identity. Not too different in the way that like you know the Old Man Logan comic storyline?
yeah, sick.
Yeah, kind of like how they broke up where it was like Red Skull's territory, Doom's territory, Hulk's territory.
Yeah, well, Professor Hulk.
What? Yeah.
Okay, so here's the map.
Or was
right?
No, it wasn't Professor, it was Old Man Banner.
Yeah, it was Old Man Banner.
Yeah.
So he was all like frumpy.
Sick. And he was still fucking
So
mad.
here's the map, right? All over here, as you can see, like in the most of the Midwest, like the Northwest and the Southwest, right? That's all tribal nations of the West, right? So that's all Native American territory.
Yeah,
right?
well, away from the sea where they were able to run to from being slaughtered.
So
Yeah.
then you have right here along the Bible Belt,
The Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah, starting from like the top of Texas.
Going east
Right,
through West Virginia and Tennessee.
Yeah,
Unsurprising.
that's the white land.
Oh, baby.
Right, that's why it's all covered in like, yeah. Okay, so then down
Maiden
here
Tales.
in like the south of Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, like
That's got to be like
Some
very
of
east side
Virginia.
of
Down to all
Florida.
the way through Florida.
that's New Negro Republic.
New Negro. That's got to be.
And what about New England?
To be fair, that's got to be like this part of Texas and like that part of Florida.
So, and then up here in the New England territory, you have the Jefferson Common.
And then like
Right.
very split in half through the Carolinas.
I was
I'm gonna guess the Jefferson Commonwealth is full of a bunch of drunk, racist liberals.
or like British leaning, like, so I'm upset because in this map, Maryland is firmly situated in white land.
Yup.
Right? Yo, like there's not a bit of Maryland that is in the New Negro
Well,
Republic.
to be fair, in both the old world and new world, like
I mean, chances are our best bet would be nope. There's
all Maryland is like
there's
the
there's
old
several
capital.
states. There's several states.
We're underwater now. It's just the old capital. That's all.
I mean, listen. Listen, but you'd be surprised though. The what is it like? 3 of the top 10 wealthiest black communities exist
shit.
in Maryland.
Wow.
Are in Maryland.
2016, the last piece of positive press she has
back to your community.
received, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, a play by Jack Thorne with contributions by J.K. Rowling, is published worldwide at midnight. I didn't even know it was actually not even written by her.
But like, I've seen clips on YouTube. They're funny. Or Cursed Child. Cursed Child. That's the orange book. Never mind. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So where do you sit on Harry Potter? Like, or
okay,
pause.
so I haven't read it. And
No, that's a two-part question.
So,
how do
it
you
doesn't
feel
matter.
about Harry Potter, and how do you feel about J.K. Rowling?
Rolling, and so it doesn't matter. So like, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't. It doesn't matter. Like she did her job. You don't have to follow her ideals. Like you don't. Like no. Like you don't have to subscribe to J.K. Rowling to like love and appreciate Harry Potter, the movies or the writing.
Yep.
And she's gotten millions and millions of children to read. She did her job. It's
so
the same thing.
You feel like the effect of the book is more important than the person who wrote the book.
Yeah, well, sure. Why not?
The work of versus the person.
It depends. Well, and again, I that's a hard question because I feel like that depends on the author itself.
In this situation, I just mean specifically in this situation.
And in this specific situation, sure, because J.K. Rowling doesn't have like a ton of like her work is Harry Potter.
Right.
So at that point, you're appreciating Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So why do you need to read more into it more than Harry Potter outside of J.K. Rowling? She's not advertising herself. She's not advertising her ideals. Right. And again, and it's not. And I feel like and it's a very fine line. And so I mean, not be PC. Like she's been progressive, and you know, like it was trans. Though, yeah. Is it even
she's
very anti-trans? Because I could be ignorant. I thought it was just like, you know, like some things just like she like turns her shoulder a little too. No, but like I don't think she's
transphobic
like,
a la carte.
Is it? Cause, like I thought and this could be my misinterpretation. I thought it was like maybe like slight, like not fully embraced trans, but that doesn't mean like anti. That doesn't mean like, oh, you fucking like why does?
I don't know how.
I feel like she goes out of her way to try to egg on,
because she does now.
Yeah, she does now.
The same way that Chappelle does.
Well then.
She's not comical about it.
Well, so but again, so she did her work with Harry Potter, so she's gonna get trolled for this shit like 10 years later. Like, you know, like I don't approve her ideals. Like, humans are humans, we need to respect, sure, but like, you know, that doesn't make her the worst fucking person in the world. And again, I appreciated Harry Potter for what it is. But like, you know, 10 years later, she's like,
whatever. She got millions of children to read.
Yeah,
right?
and so like people are gonna give her all this attention. Like, you know, she's not changing her ideas. So like, who is this? Like a couple, maybe like 10,000, which is still significant. 1,000 people are gonna raise arms against her. You like, you know, like laugh it off. Like
I mean, they could. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, these people are ignorant, right? So it's like
is she like donating money to like anti-trans?
That I don't know.
Because that's different, and that's like, you know, fairly.
And she may be, from what I understand, because I mean, you know, that's UK politics, and you know how they get over.
Oh, yeah, brush it off across the pond.
Like, well, you know, they just got rid of Boris, right?
Yeah.
Like they heavily got rid of Boris, right?
See ya.
And you know he left. Like, okay, you remember how Reagan like exited like on the "I am not a crook"? Yeah, like Boris gonna go down for
Nixon.
Oh, my bad. I did say Reagan. No, you're right. It is Nixon.
So you were just talking about.
I actually, to be fair, that's a personal name. I've always said I like fairly well also sometimes mix Nixon and Reagan, and I never understood why. So I'm glad that
You're not the only one.
Hey,
no.
Even if it's just
so hold on. I have an idea.
Hold on. Boris left out on Hasta La Vista, baby.
I could be misinterpreting this as well. Chick-fil-A is also, I feel like, another one of those things that like, people like saw and like still not approving. Most of it I feel like came from like
it's the number one most popular
donated like
$160,000
to like some youth sports league that was like Christian based or whatever. And then like some other, but like I don't think they've like donated even like hundreds of thousands, much less millions or anything else to like really any anti-gay or whatever.
No,
but, like,
I think Chick-fil-A
and the old man anti-gay dude is already dead and shit anyway. They should open up on Sunday, but like most organizations in America, like you can't even go to liquor stores before 7 o'clock on Sunday. You know, it's like I don't approve of it, and it's, you know, they're gonna do it. So
I mean, so you can't stop people from having their viewpoints.
We have one more on this day in history 1 week from today. However, this one actually happened today. So on July 31st, 2022, one of the GOATs,
yes,
Bill Russell, passed away at 88 years old.
Nice guy.
Now, Bill Russell is probably the greatest team sport athlete in history. He is an 11-time NBA champion, a 5-time MVP, member of the 25th, 50th, and 75th greatest ever anniversary for the NBA teams, 2-time NCAA champion, 2-time high school national champion, Olympic gold medalist, and won 2 NBA championships as the first black head coach in North American sports history.
He's definitely
He's the GOAT.
accomplished a lot. He's one at the very least one of very, very few, especially in his era, that has transitioned the game.
A talented individual.
And I have not even gotten to the major social progress and social justice things that he did, such as backing Muhammad Ali, refusing to be drafted for the Vietnam War. He actually protested by sitting out a game against the Hawks in response to a police killing, I believe, and also was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest civilian honor that can be earned in this country in 2011.
Unfortunate to see that all these decades later, the police killings haven't changed at all. But Muhammad Ali taking the step that he did, especially the Vietnam War, is a very brave.
Look up the picture for the Ali Summit, real quick, Doc.
even if
And
it's
you'll
something
see
you don't approve of, it's a very brave thing to step in and do.
It's a very famous picture of the Ali Summit, and you see Bill Russell, Muhammad Ali, Lou Alcindor at the time, who now we know as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Jim Brown. All to back Muhammad Ali for not accepting to be drafted for the Vietnam War.
I mean, it's the same thing now that we see with, well, an extent, right, like Colin Kaepernick, right?
Or when the Bucks,
Well,
without telling anybody,
That's-
protested that playoff game in response to the Jacob Blake shooting,
Right.
that's the biggest.
and they just
though.
didn't take the floor.
We always need you until we don't need you. Even all the world wars, First World War, Second World War. Second World War, I guess, was the greatest big start. Is we were in that transition period in America, and like there was so many war videos. We had to pull in actors to like plead our American soldiers to work together with your fellow blacks. You can't act, especially in European countries. You can't act your racist type of way and here because they're not gonna tolerate. You have to do this in a time of war. Just tolerate it through this time of war.
Yeah, all that propaganda just to get people to tolerate each other.
Just to do it again 30 years again later in Vietnam, and just to do it again as a full circle. Here we go to America, Civil War II. Because now, if we go into World War III with Russia, are we really? Are these two separate sides that are already on the verge in Civil War II America, ready to die side by side with each other next to your brother that's actively trying to take away your freedom?
Absolutely not, dog. You have people in this country right now that claim to be patriotic that are Russian sympathizers.
Fuck your freedom. Like that. Like that's literally what they're saying. Half of America, 48% of America is saying fuck your freedom. Fuck your freedom. And
it's insane the way that the political discourse in this country is really taking the lead into how people interact with each other in their day-to-day lives, right? Like that whole January 6th thing is still bananas to me.
yeah, that's D-Day too.
Like, but they really thought
T-Day.
that though.
T-Day.
They really let's do
They
this on
really thought that they was in it for they stole the election.
Can you
and all
imagine
that shit.
anyone else in America ever trying to do that and how the conservatives would lose their fucking mind?
Not
So-
just the conservatives, the entire rest of the country, right? Because
the world,
remember-
the rest of the world. Like, can you it's insane that these absolute fucking animals were
But that's what
crawling
was
on
going
this
on in
fucking
the
building.
70s.
That we, as local, we're relatively locals to this fucking area. I'm sure you've been to the Capitol. You've been there. You
I
have been
was
to the
just
spot.
in DC,
You have
just-
been to the fucking
yeah.
spot. That you've seen these fucking people, citizens crawling, climbing, breaking the fuck into, threatening. Whether you agree or disagree,
But they complain about the CVS's and the Walgreens. and
The last time I was in DC, it was to go see a Wizards Celtics game, and it was with my brother and my dad. And I took a little bit of a break to go walk off by myself to the Capitol. I told you about this, but after hearing testimony from multiple hours of testimony from Capitol Police, and hearing about what they had to deal with, I went up to the police officers there, and they were behind like two guardrails, and I was just like, were you here last year? And they were like, yes. And I just went like, thank you so much for what you did.
It's crazy, to imagine that. Once again, from my perspective, right, a lot of the people that stormed the Capitol that day are the same people that watch people protest over George Floyd, over Trayvon Martin, over Sandra Bland,
and tell them to go home,
over Freddie Gray, and they were like, but why did they do that? Why are they breaking into places? Why are they taking these, and it's like...
We're gonna go full circle. Wasn't Emmett Till just supposed to turn like 88 or something recently, 81?
Yeah, and they just recently found out that the woman who had the warrant,
killed this 14-year-old boy. Yeah, his birthday was July 25th, 41. So he would get 70...
They just found the warrant.
82 years old.
For the woman who lied about what Emmett Till did. In the basement.
Oh yeah, we can't commit this old. First of all, she already got the fight. It doesn't matter at this point anyway. She already got away.
It was the same week that they convicted that Nazi officer, right? Who was fucking 99 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
And they threw his ass.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy up. Yeah, you Nazi. Yeah, fuck you.
But
spend your last week alive.
But
in
the lady
fucking,
who got a 14-year-old.
We can't pull this 80-year-old lady that's already gotten away for several decades of what the fuck?
Yeah. But
Hey.
I know you're. Wow. Anyway, you were talking about World War III. Well, I just want to, before we go to break, end with a quote from Albert Einstein that I do not know what World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
And on that note, I think we're going to take a
break.
Fuck it, I'm 40.
It's Fucking I'm 40 podcast with Tracy Kreider
and Kelly Bell,
where two sisters just one day decided to pick up a mic and start talking about shit.
and we think we're fucking funny.
And so far, we found out 25 other people do as well.
Excellent.
So, wherever you get your podcast on, come out and find us. We're a good time. Our only rule is, don't be a dick.
So
you know what the two best beers are, right?
I thought we were gonna circle
That's how we're gonna jump back in.
Yeah,
two best beers.
Yeah, I was gonna say we
so
should.
you know what the two best beers are, right?
If you guys are just now joining us on Wisdom, welcome back to The Flood with Doc and Ziggy, the show that takes the news happening around you and discusses how it shapes the culture that defines you. And at the moment, that culture is beer culture. So
yeah, so we are talking about beer. You know what the two best beers are,
I have
right?
like a special beer certification.
There's the two best beers are free and cold.
Free beer, the beer that's bought by somebody else is always the best.
Yeah. Free beer is always the best beer. Anyway, that was all I had as far as talking about beer culture. You had something relevant to talk about, though, right, Doc?
Well, I like to drink shime, which is a Trappist beer, which is made by monks, monastery monks that have been using the same recipe for several hundred years.
What was the beer called again?
It's chime, Chimay, like chime.
There's another beer.
They have a few.
Like they have a monk on the fucking cover.
I forget what it's called. They
have a Dunkel beer that's really good.
Yeah, it's not an actual Trappist beer though, so it's fake. It's like a wannabe Trappist.
Hello,
basically.
listener. If you're just tuning in with us, we are actually discussing what again?
Well, I guess at this point, Trappist beer, but I did want to circle back into what we were talking about before we left. Cause it might be a little bit dark and heavy, but it's something that shouldn't be ignored, really. Because can you imagine where things would be, even outside of Emmett Till's case, where America would be now if she didn't open his case? His casket, I guess.
So the publication of Emmett Till's
police brutality would still be masqueraded even more than it currently already is, which is significant, even with live cameras.
I mean, when we were talking about Lovecraft Country, we said that the scariest thing in that show was the racism.
Right. The racism was way scarier in Lovecraft Country than the monsters were, right? It's like Scooby-Doo. The real monsters were people all along.
Always white dudes.
Yeah. Right. The Emmett Till face had the same impact that the 846 tape had, right? Watching that cop kneel on his neck for that long, there's
staring
no
straight
way,
in the camera, smugly smiling.
There's no way it couldn't have unsettled, like, even the staunchest of critics, right? Mm-hmm. Like, to imagine that is somebody.
Fucking Rush Limbaugh said it was fucked up.
Right, and the king of fucked up, Mr. Nappy-Headed Hose himself, even said that.
Don Imus.
No, that was Don Imus.
That was Don Imus.
Was it? Oh, my bad. Excuse me, I got two fat white bigots mixed up.
Actually, Don Imus looks rather anemic, but that's besides the point.
Dog, honestly, if you want me to be, like, keep it real with you, though, like, to be 100% nihilistic, as much of a movement as both of those incidents spurred on, none of it has made a huge amount of difference.
Isn't that fucking disgusting?
It is. That's the real part about it.
And what do you mean? That's already decades after slavery. How could that be? That's only a few decades ago. How could that be?
No.
I encourage everybody who is listening, if you haven't watched it, please watch Dave Chappelle's 846 on YouTube.
Even Dave now, right? Like, dying on these hills.
Or I guess first and foremost, make sure you've actually watched the whole video. Like, watch the video.
Yeah,
it might be hard to sit through.
Go back and watch the George Floyd
some people
video.
don't have those fucking videos. If he lived through it, you can watch through it.
Before you go, before it becomes an NFT, right?
No fucking way.
No, you say that.
That's an
just
American
recently,
thing, right? That has to be an
GameStop,
American.
of all people, had to pull an NFT off of, because they have now focused. Yeah, they have now focused all of their directives on, instead of raping you on game resale, they are now selling NFTs. And one of the NFTs that they were recently featuring was of the Falling Man. Now, I don't know if you guys know what the Falling Man is, but it is a picture taken of a man jumping from the 9/11 Twin Tower.
And that's GameStop is selling
an artistic rendition as an NFT.
Can we call this death art?
I call it
secondhand death art.
I call it Black Mirror.
I call it capitalism, baby. That's what I fucking call it, because if we're gonna rent slave cabins as Airbnbs, then we might as well sell NFTs of people jumping to their fucking death.
Because of a terrorist attack.
How American. How American Do you think that this shit would happen anywhere else? Like, honestly.
I feel like that's something that should be documented, and I feel like that's something you should be able to see if you want to. Because that's a real life historical issue. To sell it.
That's how I look. Okay, so that's literally how I feel about the healthcare industry, right? Like, when you see people's
shout out to Mark Cuban.
When you see people's medical bills, right? My first question is
in America.
Yeah. When you see people's medical bills, my first question is why are there bills? Right? I need to live. And I get, like, accessories like BBLs or, like, chin implants. Like, yeah, charge people for that kind of
There was a big Twitter debate on BBLs
There's a significant difference between cosmetic and optional things versus
preventative
basic
healthcare and, like...
human healthcare. Right.
Just know that we can discuss BBLs after this if you want.
Yeah.
Because there is a big Twitter debate.
So... essentially, though, what I'm saying is, it is insane to me that we live in a society where we
all live in a society
where things like slave cabin Airbnbs can be a thing, and fucking people jumping from buildings.
If you're saying it's like, I need someone screaming at you 24/7 about this shit, about every single thing that was going the fuck on.
It's terrible that I found out about a slave B&B on the day that Bill Russell dies.
It better be like McCamey Manor, right? Like, do you know what McCamey Manor is?
No.
So McCamey Manor is this haunted house that gained notoriety for being like the most fucked up haunted house
Massachusetts.
So he's had to move several times, right? Because his haunted house is so fucked up that when people find out he's doing it, they complained enough to get him kicked out.
Oh, and then he's in the giant moving a house truck.
No, is this the horror thing that like people had to sign waivers and shit?
Yes, dude.
No, that's not a haunted house. That's someone literally.
But what I'm saying, it's a torture house.
Yeah,
right? It's torture porn. IRL.
And people don't know what they're getting into most of the time because
it's
literally South Park episode in real life.
But you can go online and watch videos of people doing this shit beforehand.
Sure.
Right. I mean,
yeah, it's there, but again.
There's there's the murder house in Chicago.
Also,
again, to how deep? I'm sure it's even deeper than what they show on camera.
For legal purposes, I have to say that nobody has ever died at McCamey Manor.
Yeah, no fuck, because he's not gonna literally kill people and try to deal with that.
The dude is ex-CIA.
So then he knows how to torture people.
Exactly. Exactly. But I say all that to say this. If you are staying at an Airbnb cabin that is marketed as a slave cabin, then I expect the experience to be similar to something of McCamey Manor. Right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Not the fucking reviews.
Tear that family up.
Right. Not the reviews that are sitting on the cabin as a... Right. They're talking about the beautiful sunrise and shit like that, and the quaint experience on the farm, and getting to eat dinner or breakfast
inside
in the
main house.
I'm like, ew. The fuck? This is what's wrong. This is why we can't get along. I was gonna say, could you imagine a Holocaust-themed escape room?
Stop.
Yo, could you imagine...
It starts just filling with steam.
Could you imagine a Trail of Tears hike?
I was gonna say it's a really long train ride for...
Alright, the Trail of Tears hike probably exists.
Yeah, that feels like, what do they call it? Death tourism, like you said? People who like to go and vacation in, war-torn areas and shit like that. There are people that would do a Holocaust-themed escape room, and you know it.
Absolutely! And it would be all white liberals and Nazis.
Do you think Nazis would go to, the Jewish experience?
Yeah, just to prove that they're smarter.
No, because
they'd be we can totally get out of here.
The issue with all that is that, and at its core, is it's so self-gratifying because no matter what they do, you're never going to even come close. Dude,
how the fuck could it? How
close.
could it, dog?
It's not even a fucking shadow.
You're talking about people who had to sleep on the bare dirt floor and things that could barely even be called cots.
You can't even read about it with I feel like mentally breaking the fuck down. It just
not to mention being constantly bombarded with the smell of burning flesh.
So to live it, that's only something you can do if you actually physically, because you have to mentally shut yourself down.
To exist in a timeline where you as a person, right, and this is me as a black person saying, even I would feel weird about staying in a place marketed as a slave cabin.
Oh,
right? But how do you, as a white person, look at that
How
and
is that
go,
not heartbreaking? And the concept of itself.
Yes, this is the vacation I need.
All right, so hold on. If they had the Airbnb listing without the main house, and it was just rustic cabin,
I guess
rustic.
So
rustic.
I can tell you as a black person, anytime I see a rustic cabin on farmland, I assume.
Yo. So the point, even bigger the point is all these slave cabins that have continued to exist that weren't burned the fuck down.
Thank you.
Are now being how can we make money off of it?
That? How?
Because we don't have the slaves to make us fucking money anymore, so how can our slaves still make us money?
When I saw the story initially, right, I thought
it's called Washington D.C.
Out of the I guess the blissful ignorance for wanting things to be somewhat positive, I thought, oh, okay, maybe this was a misguided black person's attempt at reclaiming their history. But then when I found out that it was a white guy,
when you read any of the description of.
Yeah. I was like, oh, what the? Really, people? This shit is absolutely bonkers. Goddamn, money will make a bitch do anything, won't it?
Lemonade and julep all day.
So do you want me to go to something kind of government related, or take this into an entirely different direction?
Well, government related. I mean, it's still kind of just down the deep, dark hole. So I guess we can switch it around, because this shit's it's nonstop.
How about we talk about something that I never knew that I needed?
A boat's a boat. The mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat.
We've talked about this game before.
I never knew I needed a weekend retreat at a slave encampment.
Yeah. Oh, dog, we got kicked off the wisdom of a code of conduct violation, by the way.
Did we really?
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
Somebody, I guess, I'm thinking maybe in the discrimination may not engage in any conversation or upload content that violates intellectual property.
Did we get kicked off because we were talking about slavery? It happened, people. Come on now. We just have to accept it, and white people say you're sorry.
Well, the thing, and their excuse is always, well, slavery has always existed, but we forget the modernity. The last living slave was Florida in the fucking 60s. Because they owe a life, a fucking Wookiee life debt, basically. We're oh, well, I housed you, Negro, so you owe me. And they just have generations still just fucking working for them. Even after slavery, even after the emancipation, they still had generations, much less than people working out the rest of their lives because they had nothing else, the fuck else to do.
Well, on the topic of slavery, let's talk about video games.
Wow.
Because some people are a slave to the climb and the grind, and there is now a new game that's out.
Video game producers having to meet deadlines.
Right? Didn't we just cover the protest at, oh god, what video game company was it?
EA?
Yeah, probably.
Probably EA. No, it was Blizzard. It was Blizzard.
Wow, whoa, EA or Blizzard, the two literal worst fucking companies. What a fucking toss-up. Holy shit.
Hold on, my bad. I'm fucking up.
Blizzard and EA, like the two most DLC, money grubbing hungry, not give a fuck about player community.
Hold on, there's a third company up there
service.
too, and their name is Wizards of the Coast.
No, that's still and as a ex like pretty avid Magic player, like that's still tier 2 compared to Wizards and EA. And that's and a significant tier 2. Mind that.
Have you seen the Bearscape card?
I've seen it. I have seen it. I've seen the last several sets that they've tried to push out of again, money hungry, like just
virtue signaling.
EA and Blizzard are like hell on earth. Spawn, like they are disgusting.
Anyway, things I never knew I needed. Speaking of video games, let's talk about the new, booming, now in open beta platform brawler Multiverses that features characters such as Shaggy, the Iron Giant, Tom and Jerry, Arya Stark, and LeBron James.
And random DC characters.
Oh, and Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
So,
also soon to be Rick and Morty, allegedly Emmett from the movie Gremlins.
Oh, Emmett was.
I was gonna
just talk.
So we've talked about this
Bugs Bunny
before, but you said the beta is now open.
Open beta. Your son is downloading the game right now.
Open beta. Apparently, I've not played it. I have read a couple places that it is one of the top tier fighters.
My friend Consort, who is probably the best Smash player I personally know, is all about it. I mean, he's loving it right now.
It's literally Smash, so like it's a pretty decent one for one trade.
The amount of aerial. So a couple of things I've noticed that are different. The aerial movement in the game is wild. So I started messing around with the tutorials.
There's no $30 DLCs, so that helps.
No, you can buy the $100 edition if you want.
Oh, I lied.
Anyway,
should have known.
Did you say so? Wait, was that for real? There's $100?
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's disgusting.
Des just thought the game was gonna cost $100. I'm like, no, dude, it's free. You just get the free version.
It's like League of Legends. This is free.
It's quote unquote free.
Just.
I'm like absolutely baffled that there is.
However, for people like in League of Legends, like Zach and I, who have played for so long, the game at this point is actually free because we own all the champions just because of the amount of playtime that we put in.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I have way beyond the amount to buy.
Yeah, like
I can buy the next several new champions without ever playing.
I have no idea how many champions I could buy without ever uploading my account again. Once you play a game to a certain point where you have all that in-game currency, it's just like everything goes from quote-unquote free to it's actually free.
I also just spent like 150,000 points on the
Earthquake skin. Mm-hmm. How often do you even play Earthquake? Or how often do you even play Warwick?
I played them actually one time relatively recently because it seemed fun, but yeah, I don't play them.
There's this thing in League of Legends. It's called Earth. He was an April Fool's champion, but he was a walrus with a Gatling gun and a spatula.
Yeah, he was based off of the model. So, especially, I mean, he's still all throughout 12 seasons now, and beta. He's like the one of like maybe two champions that like consistently always been like really fucking good, no matter what items.
Warwick, not Earth.
No, Jax.
Oh.
Jax has always been like top tier regardless of what's going on. So they made Earth as like an April Fool's thing. Before April Fool's, they like leaked this champion, like, oh, this Mandy's coming. He like looks up to Jax. He wants to be like him. So he holds a spatula, like Jax holds his lantern, whatever else. Like Earth, he just models Jax. That's all he wants to be. He just wants to be like Jax. And then so April Fool's Day comes around when they've been leaking this new champion for a while, and then Warwick, this fucking
he's a werewolf.
He's a werewolf. He just comes along, just fucking kills this manatee, and like wears his skin on his back, and that's it. And so the champion's not released. April Fools.
And then for that one day,
all you
you
get
can buy that Warwick skin where he's wearing Earth.
Yeah, where he's wearing the manatee. You can buy the Warwick
And then
skin.
for years, it was cut off. Until now, where you can spend, 150,000 blue essence, which is the equivalent of probably like 50 hours of gameplay to get the skin, where Warwick is wearing Earth.
He's just wearing this. He just killed him.
The literal skin of Earth.
Literally,
That's
brutal.
a pretty good troll.
Brutal.
That's a pretty brutal troll.
Yeah,
right
they did a good job with that one.
So, Multiverses is actually becoming one of the most popular games right now, to the point where their servers are not able to really handle the open beta very well, and anybody who is attached to a Warner Brothers IP is eligible to be in this game.
So
I'm waiting for the Animaniacs.
Oh, that's literally what I was about to say. That's
I'm actually kind of surprised they're not in the game.
Yeah. The Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain.
I feel well, they would have to work kind of like Tom and Jerry though, right?
Oh yeah, so I found out about Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry are actually like super awesome with how they're designed.
Is it like Ice Climbers?
No,
it's like reverse Ice
it's
Climbers.
a reverse Ice Climbers.
That's
They really
also like Capcom versus Marvel.
No, I'll explain. Almost. So they're both on the stage, but they start going onto the different sides of the stage, and all of their attacks are about them trying to fight the other one.
So
you're trying to get everybody else caught in the crossfire.
That
the whole time, Tom and Jerry are trying to fight each other. And they're just trying to get everybody caught in the crossfire.
I like that.
I think it's really on flavor.
Not just on flavor. I think that's an interesting twist.
I feel like it's hard to do in like competitive 1v1, but like if it like fucking around like
Multiverses is also designed to be a team game. It's designed to be a 2-on-2 game.
Yeah.
The mechanics
or
of
1v1v1v1.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mechanics of
party game. That's fantastic.
We have no fucking idea who the hell can show up in this game now. Well, I mean, we do, but like, if you really go into like all the things that WB has, like, how long is it until Static Shock shows up?
Why Hive Mind? That was my next thing. I was like, yeah. Sorry.
I mean, Zach, you and I have been best friends for God knows how long, so like,
it's crazy that it's been over 10 years.
I think the real question is where is Freakazoid?
My guy.
Yeah, Freakazoid.
And can I make Freakazoid and Shaggy fight? Because
absolutely,
yeah, that's what I really need. Like
that's YouTube content.
Yeah, if we're digging into if we're digging. So, oh god, you know what that really makes me wish One Punch Man was a Warner Brothers property, because then I could make Freakazoid and One Punch Man fight, and I feel like that is like the ultimate.
All out.
So other characters,
the ultimate farce, son.
Other characters that have been leaked or data mined. The Joker, not surprised.
Right.
Marvin the Martian,
they got Batman,
not surprised.
and Harley Quinn. They're coming out with Joker.
Yeah,
Raven, not surprised. Gandalf and Legolas.
Gandalf's gonna be sick. Legolas
Ben 10,
service.
actual Godzilla.
So you can put Legolas against potentially
Arya Stark.
LeBron James.
Green Arrow. I was thinking Green Arrow, like a battle of the... Yeah, anyway, okay.
So, Ben 10, not surprised. Actual Godzilla. Actual King Kong. Neo from The Matrix. Scorpion and Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. Gizmo from Gremlins. And Emmett from the Lego Movie.
Please stop saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. I also forgot Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, Cromulon, Fred Flintstone, Johnny Bravo, and Mad Max.
This man said Cromulon, son.
Cromulon.
From Omakai Percy I. So how long before Leela's in the game?
Please.
Not long, I don't bet. I just, like...
Leela OP.
Is WB
Leela's
connected
gotta
with
be
Fox?
OP. But you know who's gonna be more OP?
What's her name?
than
Chopper? Her little fucking...
Nibbler?
Yeah, he's gonna come in.
Hypnotoad!
Nibbler's gotta come in as like a special move.
Hypnotoad's gonna be like when they finally add like the assistants, like
the trophies and shit?
Yep.
Hypnotoad, he just shoots like a code of hypnosis.
Yep, and everybody
I was gonna say this would be like a Smash Bros. Like item thing.
Yep.
So, like, here's the crazy thing though. So I was playing it, another couple of unique things. The aerial movement. When you go in the air, you get 2 jumps.
Limited.
And 2 air dodges. And 2 specials. And unlimited air attacks while you're in the air off of 1 jump. So you can go jump, air dodge, special, air dodge, jump, special, auto attack all the way down.
Auto attack.
So you're saying the mechanics are fluid?
I'm saying that there is a lot to this game. Another thing I saw is that there is no shield. There's no shield or block. You have dodge.
There's no
you just
blocking.
have dodge.
You just have dodge.
So you have to time everything properly to be able to actually dodge and attack.
Like
and
Super
here's the
Smash
thing,
Brothers
there's a dodge
makes Naruto
meter.
Fighting game.
There's a
Ultimate
dodge
Shippuden.
meter. The more you use your dodge, the less effective the dodge becomes. When your meter is depleted, you just can't fucking dodge. And
Does
then you
the
have
meter
to
regenerate?
Yeah, over time and when you hit your opponent.
Okay.
Also, certain abilities have cooldowns.
That means that the game promotes engagement, right? You can't kind of like side saddle shit and sit back and wait, which you can do in Smash Brothers, right? Like
as a Richter player, trust me, I know.
So you actually have to be actively engaged in combat in order to be effective in combat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Honestly, the game looks like... It feels pretty good. I set up my controls to where they match the layout of my Smash controller. The one thing that bothers me is... when you're doing a directional attack, you have to do an input like a tilt attack in Smash. So what that means is you can't hit the direction and the button at the same time. You have to hit the direction and then the button.
So it's not as fluid as you would like it to be.
It's not as explosive. I want to be able to, like, a Smash attack, you just immediately hit the 2 together. And for me, it's weird to be like 1-2. Yeah. Because I'm also thinking, like, if I do that, I'm going to misspace myself by moving to use the attack.
That's an interesting aspect to kind of key on.
You can, however, set your right joystick to be the equivalent of your tilt or smash attacks. So where you can just point the directional button to have that certain attack happen. There's 3 things that I think for me as a Smash player, not even a very good Smash player, admittedly, to get used to, and it will be the amount of available air movement, the lack of a shield, and also the a lot of characters are designed for 2v2 battles.
Right. Okay. So they're designed for team combat. Those are all actually pretty interesting aspects for you to key in on. That I feel like a lot of our gamer crowd
which is great because LeBron James has over 10,000 career assists.
So, i.e., a good team player.
Yeah. By the way, his entire kit is revolving around his basketball.
So you're saying they should have made him a support?
He's a bruiser. He's
Really?
a bruiser.
Shit.
Yes, LeBron is a bruiser. Batman is an assassin.
You would think he would actually be like a caster.
Apparently, Velma is broken.
Yeah. Support's OP.
I'm not surprised Velma is broken. I saw a Scooby-Doo rendition of the Persona gang, but like Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
and I was like, the
Shadow Thieves?
Like, I need this to happen, dog. Like, I need Scooby-Doo themed Persona to
RPG.
Like, yeah, like, not just even like a series like that, right? Like,
look, Reddit, we know you're on another level. You could probably make this happen in a couple hours.
They've done all kinds of renditions of Scooby-Doo, but they have yet to do a
Shaggy
Scooby-Doo
Ultimate
anime.
Instinct.
You know Supernatural is canon with Scooby-Doo, right?
But they haven't done a Scooby-Doo anime yet, dog, and I feel like that shit would go.
I'll say the outside. Have you seen the Pokemon anime?
If you could have,
Have I seen the Pokemon anime?
If you could have any,
like, the first episode is like Charmander just fucking screaming when Squirtle's biting him. Like that's hard. That's
if you could have any anime director make an anime version of Scooby-Doo, who would it be? And you don't have to give me the name of the director. You can give me a series, and then I'd be like, okay.
Hold on, say that one more time because I'm trying to get us back on. Damn, we still can't get on Wisdom, yo.
It's because we were talking about slavery.
Yo, isn't that, got canceled off of Wisdom.
Canceled.
Damn, Wisdom, come on,
No,
for real.
We're trying to drop Wisdom.
Openness here.
That's crazy. Alright, so say that again.
We were probably reported by a white nationalist who's like, we have to deny the slavery existed. And then Wisdom being a new app is like, we have to keep everybody we have!
I can't, like, there's no, like,
just because this fucking Paul lost everything in the slave movement.
There's no emails or anything as to why I can't open up a live chat yet, so I'll have to figure it out. So, say that one more time. What was your question? You don't remember, do you?
So any anime director to do a Scooby-Doo anime, and you don't have to give me the actual name of the director. You can just tell me the anime that they've done.
So
Sailor Moon.
Either the team behind Blood Sea. Right?
That's fucking hard.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah, could you imagine?
That's nasty.
As a Scooby-Doo, or Parasite would be a good one. The team behind Parasite, or
Parasite would actually be like really good though.
The team behind the Hellsing series.
Okay, so you were. I was thinking also going really dark. The other one I was thinking of would be like
all three of those.
What's
dark.
What's the name of like the guy who lives alone on Netflix?
The guy who lives alone.
Like the anime where it's like the dude almost looks like he's from Scott Pilgrim versus the World comic book.
I don't know.
Totoro, what is it? Like Totoro lives alone?
Oh, that one. Okay. Oh, you mean the kid. If you said the kid that lives alone.
The kid that lives alone.
You said the guy. The kid is literally like fucking, Totoro can't be any. Now, first of all, isn't My Neighbor Totoro? It's Kotaro. Kotaro lives alone.
I haven't watched it. I've just heard about it, yo.
It's actually pretty good. It's endearing in the most uncomfortable way possible, right? Because like all
anime,
I don't quite right.
He doesn't even know his parents are dead.
No,
yet,
I don't think he knows his parents are dead. So like all of his neighbors are like lying to him about like his parents being alive. I have to go pee. I'll be back.
So I want to know, as the punk rock podcast that we are, what was so controversial on Wisdom that we actually got banned? For speaking the truth about American history? Are you so right-wing and extremist that you aren't comfortable talking about CRT?
We're called Wisdom, not fact.
We're called Wisdom. Maybe you should change our name to Knowledge because you are ignorant.
Bars!
We don't fact check.
Actually, we do fact check. We actually have a whole segment about us fact checking.
And that's exactly why I got canceled off of Wisdom.
Are you still logged in? You're logged into the Flood Twitter account, right?
Of course I'm logged into the Flood Twitter account.
I'm not.
Should I tag Wisdom and be like, y'all some bitches?
The Flood Twitter account is my main account.
Wait, I am logged into the Flood Twitter account. Look, because I'm about to be like, imagine getting banned from an app. Or
app called Wisdom for dropping knowledge.
I think, when people complain about the quote-unquote leftist agenda, I think that's the type of shit that they're complaining about.
Well, what's so funny is, like
that one dude we talked about who was like, we all should get $124,000 a month.
Objectively, there's extremists in everything. Everywhere you go, there's going to be an extremist.
There's definitely some leftists where I'm looking at, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
But generally, the left / progressive / whatever, like it's really. At the end of the day, generally, and not excluding the extremists, just about like general equal fucking freedoms and rights. And
this is the one thing that I was talking to you about.
Are the only ones that I really find with an actual fucking agenda.
This is what I was talking to you about.
Agenda.
Does being a progressive but liking Dave Chappelle now officially make you a moderate?
No, I don't think so, especially with what Zach said earlier, right? Like, you can like Harry Potter without subscribing to what J.K. Rowling is saying.
Absolutely, yeah. She only has as much power as you as an individual gives her.
So the extremist left view would be like, because you enjoy that, you are now that.
You are now anti-trans.
And I think that is one of the huge disservices that the left does to itself.
And a lot of what Chappelle was focusing on.
It doesn't matter.
It's not just
it doesn't matter.
Chappelle.
He gets that's any comedian. He gets crap because like you no matter what you're gonna fall into. Like someone's gonna get fucking triggered and they're gonna you need to apologize now.
Son. It happened to fucking Al Franken, right?
A senator who used to write for Saturday Night Live, who resigned
because of a photo that exposed him jokingly
and he didn't want to set a precedent.
Sabotage his party, right?
That's so fucking sad.
Do you know how much we would kill to have Al Franken in the Senate right now? And 51 votes.
Dog, it might have made a difference to have Al Franken in the Senate with Trump running for president. Right? Like, could you imagine? And it's sad, right? And I'm taking this purely from a comedic perspective, right? Like, nobody takes the air out of a situation like a fucking stand-up comedian.
Jon Stewart, we saw it literally this week.
But the issue is Jon Stewart is not in the Senate. If you had a senator
that was can you imagine?
Right. Who was able to take the gas out of Trump's tank.
He wouldn't be able to because he would be president.
Al Franken busting through Ted Cruz's filibuster?
It would have been Bernie and Franken.
Yeah.
That would have been the ticket. Right there.
I'm so heartbroken over Bernie. Both times.
I can't every time.
Honestly, the more and more I think about it, like I'm missing Al Franken more than I'm even missing Bernie.
The first time was sad. The second time, I almost felt
politics is already a joke. At least he would take it seriously.
The first time I took
as far as the jokes go,
right. But the second time I was like, this is total railroading and sabotage, right? It is clear that Bernie's agenda,
heartbreaking man,
was to promote that is when I totally understood that, like I said earlier, what is going on. It is the donor class versus the work.
I don't get how Biden comes from like second last next to fucking A.B. Klobuchar to like everyone just bowing out and giving him.
Do you remember how Kamala roasted him, son? Do you remember how Kamala roasted him?
Everybody, bro. Everybody.
Dog. So, okay. I'm gonna let you talk, right? But I have a total conspiracy that I 100% believe. Who was that fucking billionaire that came in?
Oh, I liked him. Al Stein or whatever.
Bloomberg.
Bloomberg.
So remember Bloomberg?
I liked him. I liked him. I actually did. Yeah.
You liked Bloomberg?
I liked him.
No, I like Stein. The dude.
or am I confusing two dudes?
Yeah, the dude that came from.
I thought there was only like one billionaire.
No, there was two.
Okay.
And there was like the other.
Charles Schultz.
Yeah, Charles Schultz. I liked. Right, I thought he was genuinely like.
When I worked at Starbucks, the benefits were pretty good.
I thought Charles Schultz was genuinely empathetic. Bloomberg, I think, came in as a distraction from Biden. Biden was tanking so hard in the polls.
Yeah, he was like literally last, if not second last. Like he was.
Bloomberg came in, and became the focus of
The foot.
everybody's ire.
Yeah, typical
right?
WWE fashion.
Yeah,
Like, come in and be the
everybody
evil
started
face.
like pounding on him, like
Yeah.
you're the problem that's wrong with America.
Speaking
It's
of
the
WWE,
billionaires."
Vince McMahon just retired. Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had to be
when
confused at
Bloomberg
this, my
came
bad.
in, it took the heat off of Biden, and it allowed the Biden campaign to reconvene. Right?
Yeah, see, I had to
And-
be confusing the other guy.
Yeah. Yep. And dog, after that,
That's disgusting.
after Bloomberg like dropped out, Biden took off soaring, right?
Because everyone was dropping out. Everyone, like, the
And
whole
he
fucking
looked
DNC was just like.
he looked like what this country craves, which is
disgusting. I'm so sick of it.
a sensible moderate, right? The country wants
They
a moderate.
They forget who he was though. They forget, and like I don't like.
What the country doesn't realize is there's no such thing as moderate.
No.
There's
well,
no-
especially in America.
No.
Like
Not
like
here, no.
like even our left is like our left is moderate.
Our left
for,
is centrist.
Yeah,
Our
exactly.
left is
yeah,
centrist.
exactly.
Our moderate is left Republican.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
Republicans are conservatives.
Way.
And our conservative party is fascist.
Way. Yeah.
dog.
Yes. It's.
So speaking of some
Horrifying.
Biden administration things, there's two. So I'm sure you've heard that there has been an exchange offered for Brittany Griner, as well as a former Axios journalist who has been.
Oh, I
I
just
saw
hear
it
that.
get-
Yeah,
Trade-
there's an Axios journalist who's
trade
also.
her for Westbrick.
Yeah, and they are trying to exchange for a journalist and a WNBA player, a convicted arms dealer.
Yep.
I love the idea. Just meeting out in this fucking open field. Big oof.
The type of people that Russia's like, you know what? Give us this arms dealer, and we'll give you a pothead and a journalist.
Not even just that, dog. Russia had the clear advantage here, right? Like, obviously, right? Because they were like, oh,
They broke
this
our law.
basketball, right? This basketball player
can you
is
do? They
really
broke our law.
starting to stir up some shit.
I
Yeah,
don't-
and
I don't
then
think
she
people-
broke, exactly. She
I don't
broke the
think
law.
people realize.
You're a law and
This
order
is the
country.
other thing. People don't realize how good of a basketball player Brittany Griner is.
I mean,
doesn't matter,
yes.
though, right?
Right. No, she's like
but the reason that she's getting so much attention is she's like the WNBA's Shaquille O'Neal.
right.
She's unstoppable.
She is a powerhouse talent, right? And even LeBron James tweeted, you know, after the calls came out, like if this was LeBron, he'd be home by now.
Well, I want to play
Right.
both extremist sides of the
If
field.
this was LeBron, we might be in a world war.
so,
like
like,
an actual world war.
one on like the rightist extreme, or I guess both sides. I'm playing extremes. Like it doesn't matter who the fuck she is. She broke the law. Like basic citizen, it affects into you. Whether you're a goddamn nobody, it affects into you. The greatest, like, well, you know,
Straightforward. No, I
okay,
hear you.
like just because you're great, I don't know. But I guess that's back. But like, you know, for what? Like being the Shaquille O'Neal of the WNBA.
The problem is,
Where-
it's not
No,
that she's
yeah,
getting special treatment, it's that she's being used as a high-stakes chip in a game.
It was
But like, it's not who
unfortunate
she is.
advantage.
She's a U.S. citizen, and that's it.
It was an unfortunate advantage that Russia
Took advantage of.
and I can't.
But they're
blame
going to
them
do that.
for-
We're going to do it regardless of, especially now. They're
Given
gonna do it
how
regardless of-
fucked they are in
But
the
they-
global economy,
But she's a
I
U.S. citizen.
don't.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who she is.
I do blame them, but I understand why they're doing it.
We still have children in cages in our own fucking country.
Talk about it.
So, you know, like,
Free Brittany Griner, but also free the children.
yeah. So, yeah, it's like unpopular opinion, I almost think it would have just better. Like, let Trump get his second fucking year, get this shit over with, because this is a goddamn nightmare. Biden's not going to get a second re-election.
Do you think he's gonna? Do you think Trump is gonna run again?
That's literally a fucking toss-up. And
Cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest.
Come on, Simpsons.
And first of all, also Trump's never been the biggest issue. It's the fucking moron followers, right? It's
Talk
the,
that shit.
It's the Capitol fucking rioters.
It's
like,
the donors. It's the fucking donor class.
Yeah.
Dog, what we need is, and I hate to call it for it, a French-style revolution. And I'm not talking
Oh
about
no, we
politicians.
really do.
I'm not talking
and
about politicians.
that's the spark. And it may have been on the wrong side, but that's the fucking spark. Like, that's
I'm
literally
not
what
talking
America
about
fucking is.
politicians, dog.
That's what America fucking is.
It's
Absolutely, like objectively.
It's a fucking corporatocracy, dog, where everybody is running around like it's fucking Bridgerton.
But like, regardless,
right?
Like their Homelander.
Regardless of what's coming up in like the next year and a half, either side is I don't see it. Biden's not
That's
winning
why.
the
Well, maybe there is an alternative about to come out.
The rights aren't going to present
to
us fucking
Andrew
anybody.
Yang and some former Democrats and former Republicans are forming a third party called the quote-unquote Forward.
You know what?
Party.
I would be so happy. I would be so happy with fucking Mitt Romney right now. Even if fucking just the right, let the rights have the thing. I would be like just the fucking let it be said.
So, how do you feel about the Forward Party then? Do you feel like that is a push in the right direction, or do
It
you
is founded
feel
by
like,
both former Republicans and Democrats.
Do you feel like it's too little, too late?
It's just a falsetto. Like the
You
forward
think-
part, it doesn't.
So you think it's just another charade?
I voted.
right?
I voted for Howie Howard in this most recent election. Like the.
So you're really looking at fringe candidates, like somebody. I
voted for Greg Popovich in 2016.
I mean, fringe in the sense that like that they're not, their poll numbers might not be there, but their ethics and their morals.
And that's literally all that fucking matters. Like,
That
why?
should be,
Why?
right?
Why does anything else? So like again, like, well, I like blue is my favorite color. That's all it is at the end of the day.
Right now. It's literally America's caught
it's
up in a
muddying
gang war.
the waters for political.
America is caught up in a gang war, dog. It's literally blue versus red, and Republicans will look at Kendrick Lamar and be like,
in their face.
They'll look at be like Kendrick Lamar, and he represents everything bad in the culture. Even though Kendrick on this last album was basically just like, fuck this.
So what baffles me, I guess, is like, one, the economic values should never be so drastically different that it ever gets so polarized as this. We should, our economic, which should be the main, especially since we're a capitalistic country, right? We should never be so drastically different that we're like, again, so polarized. It's like, no, fuck you, buddy. Like, meet outside.
Capitalistic or Catholic?
So the other side of it is like conservatives. Like, I just don't understand like how anyone, especially in the land of the free, how we're fighting against civilian rights. It really seems like that's what the right's trying to do is fighting against.
Yes,
you can be Republican, but like it's almost insane
anymore.
to be liberal, not liberal.
They've abandoned
because
the Republican title.
It's like, equal freedoms.
It's funny that they use rhino as a derogatory term for fake Republicans now, because the GOP has absolutely abandoned the Republican title in a sense that they operate under a whole different moniker now. They're not Republicans, they're the GOP. Yes.
I just looked at Twitter and searched Forward Party to give you an idea of...
And more accurate, just defines...
For starters, the official Forward Party Twitter is not yet verified.
So it's not even defined.
Andrew Yang is an opportunist. Everything in New York City saw through his act and rejected him. The whole Forward Party is a big scam. At Mr.
Is a
Geezy.
scam word.
That has 12.2 thousand likes. Democratic strategist James Carville tells CNN James Acosta what he thinks about the new Forward Party proposed by Andrew Yang and other former Democratic Republican officials. And the tagline for it is a really stupid idea. However, remember to keep in mind who James Carville is. Dash Dabrowski says, I'm noticing a bad trend. Andrew Yang announces his Forward Party and the media gives him full coverage instead of covering Biden's lower gas prices and his historic climate bill. The media is selling the false narrative that Americans are quote-unquote fed up with both parties.
Yes.
So, there's so much stuff to talk about there, but Zach,
those were the top 3 tweets based on it that I saw.
Zach, you had a point.
So, there's 3, so we'll go in reverse. So the Biden, the gas decline. I mean, that's almost the same point as like Trump's created the most jobs. Like, you created the most jobs after everyone quit after fucking COVID.
Thank you. Too little, too late.
Like, exactly. It doesn't mean anything because like the gas prices declining are going back to like still kind of high, but like
they're definitely still high.
From $5, and that's not, again, Biden's like, no, make them all $5 today.
Right.
Like that's never been a
And
thing.
you and I both do deliveries, so we know the impact of gas prices.
What you have
for real.
right now is working people complaining shit is too expensive and rich people going, what do you expect us to do?
Side note, all these conservatives can still pay $20 for flags and bullshit. But
$20 for flags, they can fill up yachts.
And they're double
do you know how much
trucks,
it costs to fill up
diesel
a regular
trucks
boat?
and 6-wheel no doubt.
I want to say, hold on. There's something that makes me very upset at my house.
Is it rich people?
Well, no. There's an American flag rolled up and put in the loft.
How unpatriotic.
No. This is what gets very unpatriotic. I know for a fact that flag has touched the ground.
Oh, yeah, got it. Yeah. That's not...
Which means what?
So it must be ceremoniously burned.
So this is like a personal thing. My birthday is on the 4th of July. I grew up until I was about 5 years old, believing the flag and shit was me. I've always
born and bred.
I've always took personal offense. People like I've had flag shirts and stuff growing up. Like I've always taken personal of it. Like that's not how the flag is meant to be used. So I've always people got me the flag shirts. I've always taken offense. Like I've never worn a flag shirt. I've always taken personal offense.
I have,
but I will say,
that's
represented
American.
the American flag.
It's American.
It's a very punk rock.
It's American.
Thing to do.
Sure. So it's an American.
It's
so I think
American.
But I just personally, and so again, these blue stripe things, it's just it's a black stripe of all. God damn, it's so un-American. There's something else you said about Biden. I don't really remember what it was. I had a counterpoint to it, but so
it was the gas prices. It was the climate.
The bill. So I don't know what he specifically did to that. I can only imagine it's some sort of counteract thing that Trump did.
He probably sucked Joe Manchin's dick.
Trump's administration literally passed a thing because of the pipeline or whatever, where they no longer require confirmation basically to just deforest areas. They can just
Joe Manchin's really into that turkey neck thing.
Industry down any reservation areas.
He's a big fan of the old people.
He passed that. Over his I think it was the last 2 years he was in.
He also cupped the balls.
So according to JoeBiden.com, the first 4 initiatives on his climate agenda are to ensure the U.S. achieves 100% clean energy and net zero climate output.
I don't believe that.
By when?
It doesn't matter by when. It doesn't matter what the goal point is because regardless what they're trying, it doesn't matter because it's unattainable. It's unattainable. It's not happening.
There's a report that 75% of U.S. Democrats don't want Biden to run again.
But sure, and exactly that's my point earlier.
I got a news flash for you. 75% of Democrats didn't want Biden to run in the first fucking place.
Facts.
Obama told this nigga not to run.
Hell no, right? Oh, please.
Beezy stepped in and said, Joe,
your heart might not be up for this.
You really.
I want to say so. Just to keep that perspective, especially since we're talking about political things, I think Obama could have done 1, a lot more, and 2, B, not anywhere near as much as people to parade him on. He, in my opinion, and timing means a lot. So he was important for our time.
You really want to know what my opinion on Barack Obama is?
He's a very C-tier president.
He's Black Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
Fire the backwood.
Yes.
He's literally Black Ronald Reagan.
He speaks so well, but I still know you're right. I still see what you're doing.
Obama is
You're not.
center.
He's not taking the step. He wasn't taking the steps.
His objective was center right. The same way I think Joe Biden would have done better if he'd run as a Republican against Trump. And I'm not the first person to say that, right? I have to give that to Cody Johnston and some more news, right?
All right, I want to say, with how more increasingly politically involved he is becoming...
It's just right. That's just correct.
Yeah.
How long until Jon Stewart runs for some sort of office?
I think if Trump runs again, then the likelihood of Jon Stewart running for president increases.
I will literally...
He would fucking seethe at the mouth. Waited to like talk to him in person on stage.
So, one,
like, are you kidding me?
He's the best speaker. He's the best unprepared speaker. He can counteract. Like he's
You want unfiltered?
And that's
why Jon Stewart.
And that's why we know he would be great because he doesn't want it either.
Yeah. The same way that I don't think Bernie really wanted to be president, right? Like
like we said, Howard Stern felt like he
Bernie.
had to run.
That shit breaks
was
my
unfair.
fucking heart.
It's truly
it breaks
unfair.
my fucking heart.
Like, we saw the quote
Bernie
with Howard Stern. Howard was like, I
F-
feel like I have to run.
FDR 2.0.
Say it.
No.
Of our generation, say it.
It really would have
say
been,
it.
dog. But you have to remember, one, the GOP has already conceded that they will not be participating in any presidential debates.
No, I want to go back because
so we will not be seeing a presidential debate this time around. What we will be seeing is a lot of town halls, a lot of caucuses.
Good.
Right?
Good.
So
Can you imagine any situation where Jon Stewart would thrive any better?
You're not wrong, right? But I do also want Jon Stewart tearing Trump to pieces on stage. Can you? Do you remember?
He would anyone.
Can you imagine?
You want to know what Jon Stewart would do?
No. Hear me out. Remember how Trump stood over top of Hillary?
Fucking monkey over Jon Stewart on stage.
Do you remember how he stood over top of Hillary? Remember how he menaced behind her? Remember how he meandered in the background and commanded presence?
Not even. Fuck that. Like, literally, he just played his reality show and people just, like, ate that the fuck up. Like, that was so significant. And, like,
he would tower over Jon Stewart.
Do you know what I think Jon Stewart would do? I think Jon Stewart...
He would shut the fuck
no,
down. Oh,
I think he would go to a Trump rally and
hell yeah.
walk his ass up on stage, Will Smith style, and set his ass a podium and be like, go on.
So you think he gonna Lil Mama Trump? Now, Zach, you may not get that reference.
Hold on. And how would it look if Trump told his Secret Service to take the other presidential candidate off of the stage?
Zach may not get that reference. During a performance of New York by Jay-Z and Alicia Keys, right? So Jay-Z and Alicia Keys is up on stage. Lil Mama, the lip gloss rapper. I don't know if you know the song, but...
I know Lil Mama.
Yeah.
I know, like,
got up
one
on
or two
stage
songs.
and, you know, tried to dance along with Alicia Keys and Jay-Z because she was in the moment. She was feeling it, right? And everybody...
20 years too late.
Yeah. Everybody was like, whoa, no, you don't do that. So, what Zig is saying here is he thinks that Jon Stewart would be bold enough to get up on stage and pop a squat during the middle of a Trump speech.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
No, I actually disagree. I full-heartedly believe Jon Stewart would let the man finish, say what he said, and then just shut him the fuck down.
But he's going on stage.
He's going on stage. No. He's going on stage. And he's
I don't think so. You know who I think would go on stage?
No, Jon Stewart would be on stage.
Jon Stewart would 1,000% go on stage.
I think Colbert would go on stage.
Oh my god, he would too. Well, they both. Oh yeah.
I think Colbert would go on stage. I think Jon would sit in the crowd.
No, Jon.
Jon
I feel like
would go to the front of the crowd and stand right in front and watch Trump and look him in his face the entire time.
Colbert's
let's
more
go
likely
back
to
to
be
the
on
main
stage.
question.
Jon's more
At
likely
what
to run.
point are we... Is he personally pushed to the point where he's like, I have to just fucking run?
I'm gonna get you guys canceled. Jon Stewart's King Jew.
Hold on. Would you say he is a Judite?
Isn't Bernie Jewish?
Yes.
Bernie is also Jewish.
Yes.
So is he a Judite?
And Bernie's.
We mean that with all respect, by the way. And all of the Jewish faith
I still
culturally
feel
Jewish and
over
ethnically
Bernie.
Jewish people.
For someone that's always stood up throughout his entire history, has always made the rise. I feel extremely heartbroken, especially the second time around that he didn't.
If you look right here, we have the very famous picture of Bernie being dragged away.
Yes,
however,
exactly.
we have the full picture where the sergeant is standing by, smoking a cigarette, doing absolutely nothing.
Exactly. My point is, he's always been on the right side, and especially the second time around, it's felt extremely heartbreaking that he's let this happen. He didn't take a stand. He's like, no, fuck that, fuck Joe Biden, fuck this, fuck. Like,
you know what? Looking back on it, and using the perspective of hindsight, you know what I would have liked to have seen? Bernie Sanders and Cory Booker. Whoever you want to be president, whoever you want to be vice president, I think Bernie Sanders and Cory Booker would have been the bang out team.
They would have been great on the Jesus show and the Marrow show.
If Cory Booker just come out with like the Booker T intro every time.
Can we have a moment of silence?
I'm not about it.
Moment of silence.
I'm not about it.
Moment of silence for Jesus and Marrow.
Hold on.
Sorry.
But also, I just want to acknowledge that Cory Booker is dating Rosario Dawson. And,
hey, all right, you got it. You got it.
First Lady Rosario Dawson.
I got invited to a political event to meet Cory Booker, but it costed $350, so I declined.
You never go ass to mouth.
Shout out to Clerks. Aren't they? Clerks 3 is supposed to be dropping soon, ain't it?
Clerks 3, I think they're doing some web series or something like that.
Was it? Is that how Kevin Smith decided to run it?
I mean, Kevin Smith at this point, did you know that Cool Zack met Kevin Smith in a Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
For real?
Well, right here in Glen Burnie, in front of Maryland Live, the Chick-fil-A right there. I went in before work to get some breakfast, and he was there in line. I was like, oh fuck! I saw an Instagram post.
Did nobody else recognize him?
No one in the fucking
so
Chick-fil-A.
Unassuming.
No, I mean, and he's just wearing. Typical Kevin Smith style, just wearing his jersey, his jorts, his fucking New Balance shoes. That he's worn for the last 5 years. Right? So no one knew, and I'm like, oh fuck, and I saw some posts he posted recently about his mother being. I'm like, hey, how's your mother? He's like, oh, good man, thanks for asking, whatever. He took a picture with me, and I'm all that's fucking awesome. Shaking and stuff fuck. Before work, I'm already up early and shit, I'm dressed, right? And I seen him at cons and stuff, but it's not the same.
Did you actually exchange more than just get a picture with him?
So it's what's gonna bother me for the rest of my life is I have at the time I had Spider-Man comics in the back of my trunk that he had made. That the what is it the black there's Black Cat like the Evil Men Do or some shit series I had 3 out of 4 of them and man. Oh, yeah, I would, yeah. Anyway, but it fucking bothers me. It's still my picture, I'm
I fucking met Kevin Smith.
Right. I mean, I've got some weird pictures.
That's how I'd be if I met Spike Lee. Don't even feel bad.
No, so I have a picture with
fucking Ryan Coogler, right?
This is a crazy one for me. I have a picture with Mitch Luker from Suicide Silence. He's now dead.
Imagine having a picture with the fucking Chester.
I had to sell that.
Imagine having a picture with Chester, though.
Guess how much I sold that Stan Lee card for?
500.
More.
850.
600.
I remember you telling me about that before a guy bought it for his daughter's birthday. Yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah, no.
Honestly,
even today, probably 5 years from now, that's still a great price.
No, the guy told me he's I can guarantee you that card will never change hands. Or ever see play ever again.
Yeah, you paid $50 for it, so.
Yeah, I always joke that the card was
profit.
The bare minimum that I had that card at was $51, $1 for the bolt and $50 for the signature.
Right.
And then I put it on an open auction, and people were like, fuck it. And then eventually someone was just $600. And there was that whole thing I was telling you about, where the guy was like, why is this 600? Why is this 600? You could have gotten a comic book and it would be worth so much more.
Yes.
To which I said to Zach,
no,
that is actually false. Because Stan Lee's signatures on comic books are really not worth that much because he signed so many. Yeah. You get a Stan Lee autograph on anything else?
This what I told you when you told me.
Literally the only lightning bolt ever.
Yeah.
So when you told me you were gonna sell this card, I was like, "There's a very niche market for this. That
Hell
you
yeah.
could stand to make
a
pretty penny."
And to be fair, Stanley's are already like a pretty wise niche market, but that's
Right.
about as big as you're gonna
Stanley
get. That's about as big as you're gonna
versus
get.
MTG, like
I want to say that there was a $400 bid for somebody who was strictly a collector of lightning bolts.
That's
Kinda
also
cool.
a very niche market.
That's
There was
cool,
a
actually.
$500
I respect
bid
that.
of a guy whose lightning bolt was his favorite card and he loves Marvel Comics.
Respect to you, Lightning Bolt
That's
guy.
the guy I was thinking about.
There was a $600 bid by a father of a daughter who loves Marvel Comics and idolizes Stan Lee.
And his daughter more than anything.
And does she play Magic, though?
No.
No.
So she was just like, she would just be excited. But
No.
Sometimes
No,
lightning happens.
the reason that he bought it for his daughter was because it was a one of one.
Oh, I got it.
I mean,
Right.
it is.
I'm willing to bet my life that there is no other lightning bolt of the Fire and Lightning Premium deck that is signed by Stan Lee.
I know, literally any lightning bolt.
How much
Any
do
image
you want to
really
bet that
was.
that guy also owns a yacht?
I'm willing to bet that he does not.
If he is willing
I mean,
to spend...
at the very least, he has a basement full of like.
Yeah, very...
He's got a very... I'm gonna guess he has a very extensive pop collection.
He has a basement full of things that say, I have, like, expendable income.
Remember Carla's
It says,
basement?
fuck your life.
Oh my god. Remember Carla's basement?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's what it says.
She
fuck
had
your
like
life.
a Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron signed baseball, like all of this Hank Aaron jersey signed by so many people in the 500 Home Run Club. Guitars signed by Paul McCartney. They had a news article signed by Bonnie and Clyde.
Fuck your life. Again.
How is that even a...
How do you get signed by Bonnie and Clyde,
Right,
actually?
Like, alright, I'm going to the bathroom.
Because they didn't even know they were going to be like that until...
That was the wildest thing. Is that signed by Bonnie and Clyde?
How?
You take a sound, any sound, record it, and then change its nature by a multiplicity of operations. You record it at different speeds, you play it backwards, you add it to itself over and over again. You adjust filters, echoes, acoustic qualities, you combine segments of magnetic tape. By these means and many others, you can create sounds which no one has ever heard before.
It's Zach and Doc, they talk a lot. I'm Ziggy, I'm gonna take a break. Continue!
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Well, no, you guys are all fine talking about, like, you know, a crushing of the American dream and everything. I figured you guys could just keep going.
Missing prime content, I feel like.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, we're missing prime content. I don't have to be here.
Can you at least take this shot?
Okay, fine. I don't have to be here. I've heard you do an interview before with yourself. It was good. It was with Jam.
Have unrecorded content.
That was actually like a really good episode that you and Jam did together.
I'm media trained.
We need to get him back on.
I was just thinking that. But while we have Cool Zack on, Zach, you've got some interesting perspectives here about the fate of this country, man. And I really feel like you're probably still totally getting picked up on the mic, though.
Yo, this microphone's strong. He said I have ultra instinct.
No. Yo. Also, do you? Oh, damn. So I know you don't like podcasts, but another one you should listen to is "It Can Totally Happen Here" by Robert Evans.
It can that's a fucking mouthful for a podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
It can only happen here. Isn't Chris Evans the Hot Wings dude? No, that's Chris Evans is Captain America.
Yeah, Chris Evans is Captain America.
Who's Hot Wings guy? He's Evans too, right? There's too many fucking Evans. Goddamn white people, man.
I think he's Chris something. So I made a
Chris
joke.
something too. That's white people, man. Hey, stop.
So all right, as a white person, I need you to confirm this island of mine, right?
Oh, I confirm. I don't even know what the quiz is to confirm.
So I told Dan a couple of weeks ago that John is a really common white name, like a white person name.
Yeah.
And I said that there's a good 60% chance that if you're white, your name is John.
To be fair, I feel like that's been dying out relatively more recently. I'd say that like the past couple fucking 100 years, maybe everyone is like John.
Dude,
But like
6 out of 10 white dudes, I feel like his name fucking John, dude. Like
no, white people names are like always white people names, and I'll like try like put a counteract on it. Like you can hear like black names like, oh yeah, that's definitely a black name, but like it's still like it might be some like real fucking black name, but like it's only like a couple handfuls of like real obscure shit, as opposed to like, oh, John the 48th, huh?
Right. Okay. Do you guys remember the old viral video where they were going through like the list of like black girl names, and then number 1 they were like number 1. Courtney.
Well, I got things to remember that because like God forbid you try like say like a white dude's name and you have like 42 Jims in your phone.
They always make fun of black people names, but I'm like Northern European
you
names.
You got like La Guatemala Andra, like
Hans Hildegrade and Garden G.
Oh yeah.
I've seen some real weird names pop up on my DoorDash
Fucking
app.
like Eastern European names.
Some of them have been so wild. I think I've even screenshot them and sent them to you, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this, Doc?
Kind of bullshit. So, Zach, while we have you on, I like to talk politics. Dan likes to talk politics.
Politics.
I mean, I am a politician.
Politics are an endless conversation, though. So,
an aspiring politician.
I have run for office.
Possibly could have won.
Possibly.
If I tried.
Okay, so I have several questions, right? Like, and it's hard to pick one because I want to try and round things out here. The state of the country. Do you feel like there is hope?
There's always. I mean,
very
I don't want to sound like Star Wars.
He's a Star Wars fan.
Right,
There's always a new hope.
But I feel that too, though, right? This is like so. Rolling it back to like what I was talking about earlier, I feel like one of the biggest problems we have now, especially as a country, with like the PTSD we're under, is we fail to romanticize life the way we should.
So I guess to accurately answer
in
your
the
question,
words of modern American philosopher David Jacoby, we don't celebrate enough.
So yes, there's always hope, but in a more personal answer, and again it goes a full circle is. And again, if it wasn't for also this imminent World War III, I feel like we're really escalating towards Civil War II. We always want to act surprised at these laws that are passing, these things that are happening, and these well, it's only individual states, it's only whatever. Like we want to act surprised like this, like we didn't know this was going to fucking happen, and it's only going to continue to happen until it either completely takes over and fucking wins, or again it's Civil War II. Either way, it happens either way. Like it happens either way.
So you. See,
we're
Zach,
allowing.
You make me sad because the way you talk, it makes me feel like you think that the only outcome here is a negative one. Either we end up so essentially what you said is we either end up
positive outcome would be very slow. It would be very slow and everything, and that's not again because it goes down to how elections work. They deny the working class with how elections work, local governments, because like, oh, we only have 6-hour opening time for you to work, even though it's on your fucking day of work. You can't go and vote. Whatever. You can't. So that's the smaller individual county level, and then we go to the Congress. People have sit there for several years, and we see all these bills constantly. We can't show it here on the pod, but anyone can pull it up. Anyone can pull this up, and all these past congressional votes have all passed 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. The reversal of Roe v. Wade that has already been passed as a law for women's protectional rights has been reversed 6-3. All these things we're reversing. We're going back decades, if not centuries, in our country of the free, where like it's 6-3 in this country, and there's nothing that can be done about this. We just sit there and what's happened through the Trump administration and still and it's not just the Trump administration, the Biden administration as well. Nothing to be done to reverse this. Adding extra people to our lawmakers, not the people that
right. You talking about
and when we go to like Court. Germany, like we go to the laws. These are the people. Idealisms are not law. We have the the Constitution. We have the freedom of just general human freedom.
We truly
much less in
have
America,
a crusade going on right now, right, in this country, whether it be for real Christian idealism or not.
Christian idealism, like the land of the free, like the irony and Christian takeover in America is so staggering because the whole
Christian
idea was breaking
used.
free of that. Was the tyranny of the king taking over, of anybody, of any power force taking over, Congress taking over, whether it doesn't matter if it's a king or several members of Congress taking over because of their idealisms in religion, taking freedoms away from people. What are they even presenting towards us? What are they giving back to the community from that's worth even taking the freedoms? There's
no, I mean,
it's a 200% to zero.
We truly live in a serfdom, right? Like it honestly, from a macro perspective, is a serfdom, right? I mean, we live on land owned by the banks.
And you think
we live in houses owned by the banks.
People that aren't committing these crimes.
Right. Like
go back to what we were saying, like
work
off
for
camera.
a wage that is determined by the donor class, right? So at the end of the day, what we have is a new feudalism. It's hard to disagree that that's what we're really faced with.
Falling in.
Not falling in, we're in it. Right?
And it will falling in because it's only escalating. It's where there's nothing being done to stop this, and it's only continuing.
No, you're right. Like what is happening now is the solidifying.
There's no pumping the brakes at this point. There's no pumping the brakes. We don't. So we spend the next congressional meeting, or are we going to reverse the reversal of Roe v. Wade? No, it's only going to continue until it gets to a point where like it's so beyond repair, where it's either total takeover or civil war.
So
there's no pumping the brakes at the point of like the boundaries have already been set.
Zig, what do you think? Do you agree with that? Do you think it's total takeover or civil war, or do you think there's still
where's the line?
Room
where's
for
the line?
Gradual adjustment?
So Roe v. Wade. So denying abortions is okay. So where do we draw the line? That's not civil war or takeover. Where's the line?
Zig.
I know you were bitching about Amazon earlier in this episode, but I just want to say that I got some super nimble mega hamsters and a secret rare book of moon for like $5 each. And if I check TCG Player Mid trying to find some decent condition ones, they'd be like at least 8 or 9
Open
each.
up your TCG Player, check
Even
those prices.
fucking free delivery. And you know what? I would have ordered them from
Capitalism.
TokenMTG.com if they had them available. However, their Yu-Gi-Oh! Single selection is a little bit lacking, but that is fine. However, if you want any sealed product for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, Magic the Gathering, or any singles in Flesh and Blood or Magic the Gathering, check out TokenMTG in Edgewater or go to TokenMTG.com and use the promo code Ziggy and you will get 10% off of your order.
Irony, capitalism at its finest.
Shout out to the.
But the other thing is Amazon's also going to deliver it for free, and it's going to be here in
if you're an Amazon subscriber.
4 hours.
There we go. So my point exactly, right? Earlier I stated that the problem with America is complacency.
I am an Amazon subscriber, so I get it for free. I too am
complacent. We all complacent.
So I want to talk about something.
Changed. Hold on.
That's how easy it is to strong arm you.
I want to talk about something specific about Amazon real quick.
I'm an ally.
Specifically, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, right?
Right.
He owns the Washington Post.
Hey,
well,
Bezos
one
stepped
time
down,
he was in a meeting, allegedly,
leader.
with the Washington Post people, and they were talking about like angles of news that they were going to report, and allegedly Jeff Bezos was like, but is there a way where like if they get bored reading the article that like you can make the letters move and you have to like reassemble them on the page?
So
most of our people that use the internet are artistic, and if we could make them capitalize with their autism by like giving them colorful things to do instead of trying to find something else, that'd be awesome, because we literally breed autism here. Like
with vaccines.
Well, not. It's a mind state that is obviously created as fake, but like it is a distraction, and that's all anything is distractions.
No,
anything
it is. It is. We are. That's why I said America is complacent, right? We have.
Don't forget to buy the DLC for your heat warmers in your new car.
We have created a society of complacency, right? Everything is convenience, right?
Because they make movements without you being able to fight, because they go back to these things where the working class can do nothing to fight this.
And they've told the working class, you don't have to do anything, we've got it. We've got everything. You guys...
Which again would be inherently fine. Capitalism in America, like it is the land of the rich, and that's fine, land of the free, as long as we're able to actually continue to make it free. With the lower class can still be a lower poverty living class, as you can implement a pseudo socialism bottom.
And if you actually happen to have any expendable income and would like to support individual creators, you can actually support To the Flood Pod on Patreon.
Absolutely. So there's no like
independent journalism.
Creating a higher floor doesn't deny a higher peak.
No.
And if anything, creating a higher floor only makes the peaks higher. Right? Anything that grows. If you're growing,
and like you said, even if our humor is in the gutter, you can still support us on Patreon. We have 3 different tiers, by the way.
Yes, get personal emails.
You can always email us at thefloodpod@gmail.com.
I mean, I know at the very least they'll send like stickers in the mail. You get anything else in the mail?
We got stickers, we got t-shirts.
We got t-shirt designs. You and I both have the High Ted shirt.
And if you email...
There's no way that the podcast is more expensive than a t-shirt fee. So if you're signing up for the podcast, the free t-shirt's more than worth.
It's free to subscribe.
Yeah.
It's also free to email Wisdom and ask them why Doc and Ziggy got banned.
Because, we were just trying to drop knowledge about the actual historical impact of slavery.
And why is
putting culture in context here.
That's almost actively putting clothes on the homeless if you subscribe.
We are like the homeless.
Do we have to take on Wisdom as an enemy?
I mean, listen, I'm trying to figure out what happened, but we will keep you guys updated.
Do we have to take them on as an enemy?
I am. Like we're taking on fascism as an enemy?
Yeah.
Like we are taking on Christian fundamentalism as an enemy?
No Antifa.
Yeah. Like we're taking on James Harden as an enemy? Come on, back me up here.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, we can't. I can't continue because the anti-Christianism is.
But what about James Harden?
Pod segment.
But James Harden.
That's also almost a whole half a pod segment.
Yeah.
He's a Sixers fan. He has feelings about James Harden. Remember, Zach and I have twice driven to Philadelphia to go see the Sixers play at home.
Did you see James Harden play?
No. Thankfully.
That was before James
We didn't
was
see.
signed.
Actually, no. We did see Ben Simmons play once. We saw Ben
first
Simmons
time.
play the first time, and we saw Joel Embiid the second time.
Yeah, Joe always didn't play.
And I think the Sixers won both games.
Yeah.
Damn, the Sixers winning the game is
Yo, no,
another sign that...
No, we're always playoff.
Hold on.
We're always
the
playoff
Sixers winning
contenders.
at home is
course.
another sign that
That's
all
fair.
of this is very normal, and the fact that all of it is very normal is proof that none of this is normal.
Thank you guys for tuning in with us for another episode. This has been Doc and Ziggy with The Flood, and you know where to find us. That's at The Flood Pod on everything.
And that's on everything.
Thank you, Cool Zack, for joining us.
Except for knowledge.
And
wisdom.
remember to keep your death threats to 140 characters or less.
And catch us next Saturday.
Search us for everything except for wisdom.
That's except for wisdom.
And in North Korea, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Cuba.
Unblock us, wisdom.
Deuces!
Look, it's a flood!
It's a flood!
It's flooding!
Get away!
Quick, we need to get to higher ground!
Open the floodgates!
Wait, why can't we talk about Black Star?